Hello, children.
Hey,
We're gonna get started very soon. Let's
Can't wait for the next season of the Law and Order and like SVU where they touch on the like
on the FTC
Microsoft
case.
versus FTC case.
But we swear,
And
it's completely original
Ice-T
stories.
is like
it's called blast processing. It's when you mix together pixels and cocaine. It's the biggest thing on the streets.
the kids are doing it all the time.
Kids are obsessed. Okay. I would do a drug called blast processing.
Blast process.
I do a sex position called blast processing.
Okay. All right. I mean, we know, but
Jesus Christ, Mike. I can't even say why I'm still upset at you from the other thing you said tonight.
That was funny. Jeff will like that when I can tell him that joke.
Oh, he'll like it, but Jesus Christ.
Well,
Mike.
Jeff likes,
He'll congratulate me.
he likes everything.
Why does Mike make everything weird? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what the
It all
fuck?
depends on your definition of weird.
What?
Oh man, I wonder what is Ice-T doing nowadays. You know who does a really good Ice-T? Dan Harmon, the creator of a Community. That's a really good Ice-T.
I'm seeing freaking Indiana Jones after this, and it's like
Ooh,
a weird feeling.
get ready
I'm
to
not-
be
I am not
disappointed.
I don't know if I'm not dreading it. I'm not excited. I'm
Wait,
mostly
don't
kind
think
of
Harrison
sad.
Ford is going to put his all into this one?
Wow. No, I refuse to answer that question.
I
I think he'll try. I don't think that's the problem.
think he tried enough to collect the bag, and that's it.
okay, let's test this.
Guys, he likes doing Indiana Jones. He doesn't like Han Solo.
Yes,
right?
Han Solo, he loves Indiana Jones, he hates
But
Han
he
Solo.
Did a good job in episode 7.
I mean, yes.
Medley.
He's not gonna like phone it in. I mean,
I think that's why everyone accuses him. I don't think he
Well,
phones it in.
No,
well, he phones in
I think-
some roles. He's not gonna phone in the big payday Han Solo role. No way.
Yeah.
Also, think a little bit about how how that played out for him in that movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. He's like, kill me now.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. Yes. And then he still came back.
Well, they more money for,
Yeah,
like for one day. I'm sure he's like, whatever.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
car.
I have to stay in this big cube, big television cube. Okay. Oh man.
Yahoo.
The volume. That's the name of the big cube, isn't it? The volume.
The volume, yes, or
we're-
Stagecraft is like the company. Okay, I think you guys did hear this, right?
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Did you tweet it?
I tweeted, yes.
Have you tweeted? Did you?
I have tweeted. The tweet I have.
Have did.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna get started. I think, what else do I normally do before the show? It's my first time. That looks good.
A line of cocaine. There we go.
Oh,
Let's
well, yeah,
fucking go.
You go for your mama's ass, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, how is it called? Boofing.
I think my favorite part from the night shows is still Steve Saylor saying, "I'm blind. Y'all look the same to me."
Yeah, that was nice.
So good.
Yeah,
And then I'm just like, "Let's go!" I was so excited. I loved it.
Black people are shocked to
Oh,
their core. It's like, damn.
Oh, it ruled. Okay. I think we're good. I'm going to count us in and get started. You guys good? And by you, I mean Mike.
yeah.
All right. Here we go. In.
I'm not ready.
Oh, my God. 5, 4, 3. Internet, you're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti.
in today's episode, FTC versus Microsoft, Final Fantasy sales, and more. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm still tired. I thought after I got this one work project done, it's like, oh, then I'll have time to play the video games and stuff.
It never ends. It never ends.
It doesn't end. I am actually just straight up going to have to like take like a staycation here soon to like catch up.
I like that idea.
I have this box in my living room of this shelf I bought that I was supposed to put together like before I left for Summer Game Fest. And it's still just a box right now.
I've had a third of the way completed. You saw it when you were here. Seinfeld Lego set that I've had since Christmas. And every time I walk past it, I'm like, oh, cool. Legos that make me feel guilty about not having enough time for myself. That's wonderful.
Now, I'm glad I got you an expensive Lego set for your birthday now.
Listen, I'm still very excited to put that together. But it's you know, you're right. I just need to like take time for myself, and then maybe also take a little bit of a staycation.
Right.
But
it was probably like, you know, we did like goof off on Monday, but it was also like goofing off doing extracurricular activities.
Yeah,
so
right.
I didn't get things done. I mean, it was great. I got to do like a lot of my favorite things, which includes 2 chain restaurants, I guess. But Margaritaville and Cheesecake Factory. I've been slowly noshing on that Cinnabon cheesecake, by the way. It's very good.
Yeah, you guys, we had that and the Oreo one in the fridge, and I made the mistake of showing both the staff and be like, "Here, you can have these." And then I got a craving for the Cinnabon one, and I ate about half of it. And then she's like, "Why'd you show it to me like you gave it to me and then ate half of it?" And I'm like, the only explanation is I'm a bad person. Like, that's all there is to it. So
it turns out half a cheesecake is really all any sane person needs.
Oh yes, yeah. I've not gone back for more. Half of that was, I was like, holy, that was actually too much as well. Half a cheesecake. You were right when you said we should just all like split it and each have a third. Like that was actually the right choice all along.
Yeah. But we got more though, because like we thought we were gonna like eat it during Commando or something. We were just too enthralled by Commando.
Well, Commando's
so
just
took it home.
Just perfect. You don't need anything else. It's all the stimulation you need.
Yes.
All right. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening. Hit that like button on YouTube right now, everybody. Mikey likes it when we get over 100. I appreciate that. If you want to ask a question, you can drop a super chat here on YouTube during the show. We'll get to all of those before the end. Thank you to Carlos Ain, who's Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. You can, One Up versus CPU for the artwork as well. Thank you. You can get more from him at oneupversuscpu.com. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to our mods, and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in the Discord, the monthly Q&A, 1 month early access to our Jeopardy games, participation in our monthly game club discussions, which you guys just did a little bit ago for Tears of the Kingdom. That episode will be going up soon. And of course, all of our shows ad free. So go ahead, become a podcast producer by joining the Patreon. Appreciate that. All right, Mike, there's some big topics we could talk about for this week. I mean, listen, I don't want to we're not going to go blow by blow for the FTC versus Microsoft thing. There's a lot there. There's a lot of interesting tidbits that came out of it. But closing arguments did just happen. Yes. And I tried to listen to most of them. I've been very busy. I got kind of a headache from the smoke here in Cleveland. I'm sure it's hitting you as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a real pain in the ass. Yeah. And but either way, I tried to listen to it. It is, I hate trying to predict this stuff because it's been really unpredictable so far. I will say though, that it really seems to kind of go back to the original assessment of the FTC not having a strong case and yet still putting as much ammunition for it as it possibly can so that it can put on a facade of it's going to come at you with everything it's got if you are another company that's trying to do this, because really they know they're probably not going to win. Now they might. I honestly still don't know, but that's the way it feels coming out of these closing arguments. But beyond, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else from that you would want to talk about, or could we just talk about some of these other headlines from this thing?
Yeah, it just on that, it's like, reading the snippets I see online, it certainly seems to be going Xbox's way, but it's hard to tell. There's so many factors here. Like, what is the actual legally important things that are happening here? How much does it matter that the judge is understanding some of these sort of gamer things,
right,
or not, right? And the whole thing is weird because it is very fixated on the Call of Duty question.
Yes,
which these other regulators seem to have, they're not even concerned about, right? The one regulator who has said no in the UK, their issue is cloud gaming, and that's not coming up at all.
Yes, and very specifically, as you said, not Call of Duty. They specifically dropped that point of their argument, and that did not factor into their decision to say no at all for the CMA in the UK. And that's because, I mean, the reality is, it is very clear that Microsoft's going to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. So the idea of like the foreclosure argument, that is not even really coming up in the FTC case. The argument that the government is trying to make, the FTC is trying to make, is that Microsoft might make it worse or might make it better on Xbox. And to that point, there's no evidence of that. But Microsoft's like, well, that's just the market. Like, that is happening right now with PlayStation. They get stuff first for Call of Duty. That's just the way these things work. That's not a reason to derail the deal. Again, no idea if this is compelling to the judge. It seems like it might be. I really am hesitant to be like, well, we can read this lady's mind, because we just can't. But there has been some fun stuff that has like leaked out because of this case. A lot of stuff that was supposed to be redacted, like how much it costs to make a God of War, or I'm sorry, a Last of Us, or a Horizon Forbidden West. Both of those are about $212 to $220 million.
Yeah,
not very surprising.
Shocking.
Yep.
No, it's like about like the size of like a Hollywood blockbuster. Like, yeah, of course.
Yep, and it's takes more than 5 years. Also, something that we just know at this point. And then the other side, like Xbox, they considered acquiring just about everybody on the planet. They looked at Sega, they looked at Square Enix, they looked at a whole bunch of companies. They looked at IO Interactive. And it's like, yeah, all that stuff makes sense, that they would at least be looking. I think that I don't know, that's just not surprising either, right?
No, I don't think it's surprising. You say all the time, yeah, of course they're going to be looking at everybody. The Bungie thing's funny because you kind of had an incident there. I don't know
if
you want to.
I mean, that was always frustrating, because when I reported, I don't even know when that was, a couple of years ago. That
2020.
Yes, Microsoft was like talking about acquiring Bungie, and then the price that they came up with, or that Bungie told them, whatever it was, they're like, oh, that's too high. And then that's the story. As I said, it's like Microsoft discussed this, and then Pete Parsons, the head of Bungie, was like, this is false, when Nibel quoted what we said from Game Decides way back when, GamesBeat Decides back then. And then it's like, what is false here, Pete? Like, what specific thing is false? And of course, he never clarified. And it turns out none of it was false. It's exactly the story we said that happened is exactly what happened. So, vindication, but whatever. That usually doesn't make much difference in the long run. The first story is what everyone remembers. I don't know. I think overall this has been more entertaining than I thought it would be after months of it being pretty boring, this story. So getting a bunch of small tidbits, hearing the arguments, actually having Phil Spencer take the stand last week, and then Satya Nadella take the stand this week. And, Nadella's testimony wasn't super exciting, but even like Phil Spencer stuff was like, it's interesting to hear some of the perspectives under oath and have them talk in a way that you just haven't really heard before. They, maybe with the exception of Phil Spencer, who's usually pretty candid and kind of talks the same way, regardless of what venue he's in. It was just interesting to hear these people talk in a very plain way, their honest opinions about video games, and the video game business. There's just not much new here, though. We have talked around this case in circles, so it's not something we got to spend a ton of time on. But I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts about it?
Sure wish somebody would go to the judge. Hey, to be clear, no one actually really cares if the Switch is Gen 8 or Gen 9. It seems to be this weird sticking point in this whole thing. I wish like somebody like this, be clear, this is stupid. I can't believe how often the term Gen 9 was used. Yeah, and listen, that is something that these companies do. Some of these companies use internally. Like the Xbox, if you look at its OS, they call it a Gen 9 console. I think that's stupid and crazy, but if these companies are like doing that internally because they're engineers, that's one thing. The idea of it applying and having any relevancy to the market is actually crazy. It is legitimately crazy, because what matters is that there are video games on a shelf and you can buy them, and they sit next to other video games on a shelf and you could buy those. And the hardware, like the system you play them on, like where it came from, the timeline that it exists in, for the company that made it, all of that stuff is irrelevant to the choice of which game do I want to play. And that's the market. Gen 8, Gen 9 is so made up. It's so made up that it just doesn't really matter. So yeah, I do get frustrated listening to some of the stuff, and just wishing I could jump in and be like, tell the judge and shake her, be like, no, please don't listen to any of this. This is insanity.
Although sometimes these lawyers can be pretty good about clarifying that. For example, the judge is like, hey, the whole idea of antitrust here is it's good to keep these things separate so that we can have Call of Duty over there, and then if you want to compete with Call of Duty, you have to make your own or make something better. And then the Microsoft lawyers like, yeah, but it actually benefits this industry if someone like Activision can start from nothing back in the 80s and the 90s, build up into this massive thing, and then someone buys them, and then someone else makes the next Call of Duty based on that. And a lot of the people that work there can go on. It's like something we talk about on the show all the time, the dynamism of the market of you need someone at the top actually making acquisitions as well, so that the people who invest all this money at the bottom to create something new have a goal to aim for. Be like, maybe one day I could sell off this thing, and then I could take all my money and go start something new again. And so to hear those arguments kind of made plainly was actually like really refreshing. But yeah, so the timeline for this going forward is today was the closing arguments. They will be handing in like a few more of their like addendums, things like that over the next couple days after the July 4th holiday. We probably will get the ruling from the judge in like the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's, July 18th is the day that Microsoft said it wants to have this closed by. That's the agreement it has with Activision. It should be just before that. And if the injunction doesn't happen, it is very likely that on July 18th, Microsoft will close this deal. And then the FTC will have to operate in a world in which Microsoft owns Activision.
And then Microsoft, how are they planning to deal with the UK again when they do this?
Well, if they do, they probably will just have to have it be controlled by like a holding company in the UK, or they will take the headquarters out of the UK, do it in the rest of Europe, and then work with a third party in the UK to distribute games there for them. And then, Xbox services will just have to obey the rules set forth by the CMA. And that means that, no Call of Duty on Game Pass in the UK likely is how that would work. And if you want to have Game Pass or if you want to have Call of Duty on Game Pass, you'll have to leave the UK or whatever. I don't know. It's going to be strange, but it does seem like they are charging ahead. There is no indication that the UK is going to be able to derail the deal. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the striking things I noticed from like just reading some of the things about closing statements from the FTC is, like a lot of they would explain things about why it would be bad for Sony or PlayStation for this deal to go through. And even the judge kind of like spoke up one time, like, it doesn't matter if it's bad for PlayStation. Why is it bad for consumers, right? I still am not sure if that was really spelled out in a convincing way here. But again, who knows where the dominoes are going to fall.
Yeah, the judge asks pretty pertinent questions, though, that shows she does seem to understand the market side of these things to the end that you're talking about there, where it's, the FTC judge will the FTC lawyer will go down a path of how this is bad for Sony because of this. And then the judge will ask something, but doesn't that mean the game will be in Game Pass and more people will have access to it, through the cloud or whatever, and all these other things? And aren't they going to put it on NVIDIA services so people have access to it there? And there is no real strong response to that from the FTC other than to say, well, we don't know if we believe those deals because we don't know the terms yet. But Nintendo and NVIDIA both signed deals. They did sign something. There's just not like spelt out terms of what those deals are exactly. The response from Microsoft's lawyers is NVIDIA is $1 trillion company. Nintendo is a historically very successful company. They know what they're doing when they're signing these deals. So
wasn't there some kind of Nintendo deposition or something that wasn't shown because some sensitive stuff?
Yes,
or something. So
it was sealed, and they showed it behind closed doors to the judge. And
I think it was talking about the Switch 2 and like the possibility of Call of Duty coming to that and stuff like that.
I'm sure that stuff came up. I also bet that the judge was feeling pretty sensitive about this sensitive materials because of the Sharpie incident, where like
the Sharpie incident. She even joked about Sharpies at the end.
She did joke about Sharpies at the end. Yes. So like for people that don't know, that's how we found out how much it costs to make a Last of Us Part 2 at $220 million. Is it was blocked out in Sharpie, and then someone scanned it, and you could still see the ink shine through the Sharpie in the copied materials. So yeah. Yep. Oops. And so, like, and she made a joke about it. She's aware. I think she's like, if Nintendo was like, "Hey, this is extra sensitive. Can we please just not have this public?" I bet she was willing to grant that because of that in part, but also probably because Nintendo probably did speak pretty candidly about things that are coming up in their future, and we know their very near future involves things like new hardware. So yeah. Okay. I guess we'll see. She did make the point of like, hey, there's a Call of Duty coming out in November, something that has not been confirmed by Activision. So another leak there.
They're going to talk about that soon, right?
Yeah, they normally would have by now, right? Like I always think about like in my timeline in my head of previous years with previous Call of Duties, the NBA playoffs is when they do one of the first trailers for that. And they have for years and years and years. I think it's been a little bit different since the pandemic, but for years and years, it was by the time the NBA playoffs are happening, the NBA finals, I think specifically, we get a new trailer for Call of Duty. And I can't remember if it's the multiplayer trailer or the single player trailer, but we get one of those, and we are well past that now. Yeah, right. Yes, we are. So, I think that it's probably something they're going to have. I thought, it's coming out of Summer Game Fest, we would have got it. Modern Warfare 2 was announced in June last year, says Eric G. And we are in July, basically. Like, no one's going to announce anything tomorrow. And then it's the July 4th weekend. So, they're probably going to have to announce it soon. But November, I guess that makes sense why every game's been getting announced for October. Because everyone's, like, unsure about Call of Duty, but thinks it's probably happening in November. And they want to get out of its way. And that kind of happens every time. The other point there is that Call of Duty in November, she said, you have that thing in August. You can, you could just, we don't really, she seemed to be suggesting you don't need this injunction because nothing's really going to happen with Call of Duty. The thing that actually matters, the thing you keep saying matters until November. So why don't we just stick to that? But again, we'll see how she ends up ruling. Okay. Yeah. What's up?
I said all right, as in, I want to move on also.
Yes, I want to move on. All right. Okay, some stuff happened today with Annapurna. It announced a Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth along with a bunch of other games. This is the one that stuck out to me, Blade Runner 2033 Labyrinth. It's an entirely new Blade Runner game, the first one in 25 years. I like that last one, the Westwood Studios point-and-click adventure, which is always had a really great mood in that game, really great atmosphere. This one will take place between the original movie and the 2049 sequel, as implied by the name. And it says that it's set in the dystopian Los Angeles after the blackout hits. But they haven't shared any other details. They did provide, a look at the game with a trailer that shows, again, kind of a setting, a mood. And I think they mostly nailed it. For me, Blade Runner is about those quiet moments when you're sitting in a super depressing Los Angeles with the lights off and weird future jazz music playing. And if it gives me that, I'll be happy. But I don't know. Did you see this?
Looking at it a little bit now, I do wonder what exactly this is going to be like. Is it going to just be kind of a point-and-click adventure game? I wonder if this is going to be like, that game that came out where it's mostly people talking that sort of looks like Blade Runner anyways, and where the creators of it are fighting with the studio a ton. Not Detroit 2 Human, how dare you?
Well, I'm not sure what you're getting at. The one with the fighting with the human.
If everyone liked it and I didn't play it, Chad, help me out. You just kind of talk, but it was Game of the Year, and the sequel's probably not happening.
Disco Elysium. Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Ryan. Citizen Sleeper is what I was thinking first as well. God Resla until he said that thing at the end, and then Disco Elysium. Yes. I think it'll probably actually, if it's going to be probably closer to Detroit Become Human.
Oh fuck.
Not exactly in terms of picking your own dialogue throughout the whole thing exactly, but I think it'll be a different kind of adventure game, not just a classic point and click. It'll try to present itself as something more. But I think the underlying gameplay probably will still be an adventure game, which, hey, that's cool. And if it's more than that, that's also cool. Apparently, there's also a RoboCop beta out that people are playing.
You can sign up for the beta, I think. Yeah,
you can sign up. Okay,
that.
Okay. I want to see if we can get into for that because I want to try that out. Did you see anything else from Annapurna though? I know I was busy today, so I didn't really get a chance to look.
No, I wasn't even watching. I knew about the not cyberpunk, the battlefield. What the fuck's it called? Blade Runner. God. I'm tired.
He's dying before us, everybody.
I'm dying before I'm losing it. Turns out that being really tired and it's shocking your system with cinnamon bun cheesecake is not a
That's
great
not the
way
cure?
to function. That's not the way to function in this order. Oh, Stray's coming to Xbox. Oh, you hear that? Game of the Year nominee Stray is coming to Xbox.
And Scorn is going to PlayStation, so everybody's exchanging their Game of the Years.
Yeah, we're all trading mediocre games right now.
Oh, I can't believe the love for Stray out there. That's so weird.
It was weird. It's a little too much.
It's a little too much. A little too much. It's like we need to do something about these nerds. You guys need to be wedgied a little bit more than you have been.
Yeah, I hear that, Rebecca. Still, we gotta do something about you.
Shit, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Okay. Valve doesn't want to allow games that use AI art onto Steam, and has already begun removing a lot of them. This is not like the idea of, hey, you can't use SpeedTree, a tool that uses algorithms to create a bunch of different trees for your open world game. That's not what this is.
Obviously, there's been AI involved in making video games in some way for a long
time, and there will be, and those tools are going to continue to be allowed. Their specific issue is if you use something like, let's say, ChatGPT to write a script for your game, you cannot guarantee to Valve that you own the copyright for that material because you do not know where it comes from. If you can prove to Valve that you trained an AI model using only material that you created, then you're in the clear. Then that's completely fine. If you use a publicly available model that might be drawing from sources that aren't owned and aren't, and the rights aren't passed on to you, you are in a legal gray area and Valve wants nothing to do with you. I think that seems completely fair to me.
Yeah, fuck all this AI bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's I love the idea of pressing a button and have something done for me. That sounds great. The legal ramifications are real though, and I'm not going to pass off anything like that as my own. I whenever I make a joke using ChatGPT, I always make it clear, like, hey, I just did this with ChatGPT. Everybody, here it is. People actually taking that and then trying to go sell it on Steam. That is a weird gray area.
It's weird. Or, publishing companies firing a bunch of writers and then hiring AI writer positions, whatever the hell that means. Yeah. It's all a mess.
200 to 250 stories per week of AI written stories.
Insane.
Yep, insane stuff.
I think it's the stuff's happening. It's gonna be real, of course, but we all right now, especially these big companies, these big leaders like Valve, need to make it very clear what is acceptable and what isn't very early on.
Yep.
So this is important. This is good.
It does feel pretty grim looking around right now at the internet, where it's just like, oh, it is actually all coming to an end, isn't it? There's been a couple of stories out there from pretty smart writers, like the end of the useful internet and things like that, like stuff created by humans to help other humans, and now it's going to be an Ouroboros of AI eating each other's content to flood our feeds with. And it's going.
Metal Gear Solid 2 problem now, isn't it?
It's a Metal Gear Solid 2 problem. Yeah, it sucks. It's affecting me, where I'm like, I will be spending time on the internet and I'll recognize that that's what's happening, and I don't want to wade through it. And I'm like, I might be trying to force myself into a situation here pretty soon where I spend significantly less time on the internet. And it's like, I'll let someone else sort this out. I'll come back when you make it appealing again. Because right now, it is the opposite of appealing. It is actively pushing me away. I'm finding much of the internet to be pretty repulsive in terms of finding it a good use of my time. So I think
one of the things that is still working is like that, you can only so much with the AI, at least, is like this, like watching people talk. I still find entertaining and useful.
Yep.
I still find that aspect of it, the video takeover, right? And now it's almost like, yeah, kind of actually.
Yep.
That seems like a safe space at the moment.
I think that's exactly the human relationship stuff. And that I think that also, it's like the parasocial stuff for me, where I'm listening to other podcasts, absolutely still works. I know there's been a couple of podcasts that are like, hey, we're gonna mess around with this because we want to see what the future is. We're gonna do take our voices, make AI voices, have AI scripts, and see if it can replace that. And there's been some interesting results from that. Mostly, it's been a mess and been pretty boring. But I've also been entertained by like the AI shows on Twitch, that run endlessly.
Sure.
But it's like I'm actively choosing to engage with that stuff. Do not try to pass it off as real human relationships.
I mean, I was entertained by that fake Seinfeld show mostly because it was so stupid.
Right.
And, like it had
non
like,
sequitur.
the
Yeah.
bugs.
Yes.
Not because like this is a pretty good substitute for Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yes. Exactly right. I do like that AI Jesus though on Twitch, where you can ask him questions. And
AI Jesus.
yeah, there's the AI Jesus. It's actually pretty good. And he's very kind. He's got very good cheeks to turn. All right. Baldur's Gate release has been moved up on PC to August 3rd. On PS5, it's now coming September 6th. Previously, it was supposed to come out August 31st. And the Xbox version is looking likely, but Series S may cause some issues due to problems with split screen co-op. They are having troubles getting that to run well, and they can't just drop it on S because that's not allowed under Microsoft's policy, where you have to have the same features on S and X. But it was interesting, I thought, the dates moving around, because they explained it as, we didn't choose to do it this way. We weren't like, hey, from the beginning, we want to set out to have the PC version done first, and then the PlayStation 5 version, and then have that done way before the Xbox version. It's just when we started working on stuff, this is the way it naturally worked out. We have more experience working on PS5, and that meant we are able to do it faster. And now we are looking at Xbox, and that's requiring a little bit more effort because we have to figure out more stuff there. And I'm like, that, just hearing a developer put it plainly like that is really refreshing, where it's just like, it's just a normal problem. Like, it's just the kind of thing that happens. And being someone that like works on stuff with other people, it's like, that's so familiar of that. None of this stuff really is a deliberate choice a lot of times. It's just making do with what you have and the resources you have. And suddenly you look up and you're like, oh, well, now it looks pretty bad, but oh, well. So yeah, I'm pretty fascinated by the response from the developers here. That said, pretty cool that they're moving up the PC release date. I'm ready to play this game. Actually, I'm into this studio's games. Divinity Original Sin 2 is a lot of fun. The 20 hours I played of it, and I'm ready for Baldur's Gate 3.
I think it's just very smart to get further away from Starfield if you can. I know they didn't specifically single out Starfield, but that's clearly what's happening. There are so many games that came out this month that should have just not come out this month, your Park Beyonds, like your AEWs. There's other things I know it's really difficult, especially when games do take a long time to really give us a release date. Often because they're delayed so long, we didn't really know when exactly Starfield was coming out.
Yeah,
for a while. But more than ever, you gotta really get out of the way of some of these big games.
I think that I want to mention this point that Sean's bringing up just real quick, because I want some clarification there. But I want to talk about what you just talked about as well. Sean says, theoretically, S shouldn't be holding X back since they scale proportionally for their target resolutions. That's correct. That is not super that's not really the problem. The problem is that the specific feature of co-op split screen is difficult for them to run simultaneously on the S, and they would like to remove it from the S, but they're not allowed to because they have to have the same exact gameplay features. They don't have to have the same graphical features. They're allowed to have a game that looks worse and has a lower resolution. But apparently the Xbox Series, it's not holding back the X like that. It is holding back the X in that because the S can't run it, they would have to remove it from both versions of the game in order to ship within the policies that Microsoft has, where you can't have various two different versions of the game for Xbox Series S and X. And then, they got out of the way. You're right. They were going to be coming late in August. The next day is the early release of Starfield. It is interesting, though, on PlayStation 5, it is coming out September 6th, which is the actual release date of the normal version of Starfield. But that is counter-programming, right? Because there is no Starfield on PlayStation 5. So it's almost like a nice slot to be in if you are on PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, for sure.
All right. Final Fantasy 16 has sold 3 million copies. I think that is pretty good for a PlayStation 5 exclusive. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, it's hard because... Well, what do we compare this to exactly? You can't really compare it to 15,
right? Because
that was multi-platform. Final Fantasy VII Remake was on PlayStation 4, which had more copies out at the time. So yeah, God of War, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, so can't really compare it to that. So yeah, it's hard to find a comparison point, but that seems like a good start. Maybe not blowing people's minds good start. Certainly at least good enough, right?
Yes, I think it's pretty good. is where I'm at. There are games that you can imagine coming to PS5 in a world where the PS5 has sold about 40 million consoles, 40 million units, that would have rushed to 5 million. Like there is a handful of games that would do that. Last of Us Part 3 or whatever. I think God of War Ragnarok probably was. God of War Ragnarok was cross-gen, so that's not fair. But it's 3 million for a console that has 40 million units out there. That's pretty good in the first week. And
I do kind of like the God of War comparison. It is a bit different because God of War Ragnarok was on PlayStation 4 also, so a lot more consoles there.
A lot more.
Theoretically, and that was 5.1 million units in a week, right?
Yes.
That's what maybe being on PlayStation 4 or got you, or maybe God of War probably also just more popular than Final Fantasy right now.
And again, it's like we take the pieces of data that we have available to us, and I know like when we look at Japan, which does provide sales figures in numerical format for a lot of these games and by platform, we do see that and this is just Japan, so it doesn't apply worldwide, but the physical units of a new PlayStation game sell about equal on PS5 and PS4. Usually a little bit better on PS5, but not that much. It's like, in the first week, this game sold 90,000 on the PS5 and 82,000 on the PS4. Again, that's just one market. But if you extrapolate a little bit from that, it's like you could probably see if it was on PS4 as well, it probably also would have been at like 4.5, maybe almost 5 million. So I think 3 million again, very, very good. And this game still is going to come to PC, and it's probably going to do very, very well when it comes to PC. So I think they're probably pretty happy with it.
The big hope is to get to 10 million total eventually, right? And can it do that, I guess, is the question.
Yeah. We're on this topic right now. Here's a super chat from DR Matic. Tomb Raider sold 3.4 million at launch and was a disappointment. Does that make Final Fantasy 16 a disappointment to Square? I don't know if that was in the first week, that 3.4 million for Tomb Raider.
That would be surprising if Tomb Raider did 3.3 in the first week. That would be.
I don't think it did in the first week. I think that was like.
I thought that was Lifetime.
Yeah, I thought that was like the bulk of the first couple of months of sales, but I could be wrong about that. Either way, though, I don't.
That would be weird if that's true.
Yes, that would be weird if that was true. I agree.
Those are first month sales. That's even still pretty good. I mean, look, it was always ridiculous for Square to have whatever their expectations were for Tomb Raider at that time. But it was always stupid. So
that was a month. Different. That was a month. Thank you, DR Matic. Appreciate that clarification.
There you go. Final Fantasy 16 outpacing that Tomb Raider reboot.
Yes, exactly. And also, I think that's it seems pretty good. Again, that's where I'm at. I bet Square Enix is happy with Final Fantasy 16.
You know more than I would. I haven't even been able to freaking start Final Fantasy 16.
You have been. You've just chosen not to because you're a fake fan. You're a fake fan.
Not. I literally have
You play
not.
Final Fantasy 3 instead. That's what
I played that in Betty by time.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Fine.
I almost beat it though.
Wait, what's that?
I've almost beaten Final Fantasy 3 though.
Really? Oh man, you just started.
These games are like 12, 15 hours.
Oh, are they? Okay,
ones.
I guess that's right.
Shorter.
That's a Super Nintendo game, right?
NES, normal Famicom game.
1, 2, and 3 are okay. NES
1,
and
2, 3
Famicom.
Famicom. It was actually in threes for a while. 1, 2, 3 Famicom or NES. 4, 5, 6 SNES. 7, 8, 9 PlayStation. 10, 11, 12 PS2, and then all of a sudden games became much longer to make.
Fair enough. The Circana report, formerly known as the MPD report, came out. Not much to say other than, of course, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom dominated. It's already the second best-selling game of the year in the United States, and that's just for physical sales. Almost every other game on that chart has digital included. Tears of the Kingdom does not, and yet already the second best-selling game of the year.
So it must be one. So many people buy that game digitally.
It has almost certainly already outsold Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, and that is a huge number. It is. And again, it's an exclusive game. It's on one platform. It's really hard to overstate how good this game is doing. The Switch had its second best May ever. The 2020 was its best May ever. This was its second best May. And that's also pretty impressive. Clearly, Tears of the Kingdom is the thing that is going to charge the Switch through the end of its life, probably get it easily to that 15 million consoles sold number that they were trying to hit this year. And they're well on their way to get to doing that, I believe. So, yeah. Mike, that does it for the news I wanted to bring up. We did get a bunch of super chats. Let's hit those now, and then we'll take a quick break. What do you say?
Okay. We got one from a Lincoln member here, Radosky, who says, I need that Christmas Jimbo skin in Call of Duty.
Of course.
There you go.
That's
He's
what I
getting
want to.
scanned, you think? He was visiting Kojima.
I just can't imagine a world in which Kojima has that man in his clutches and doesn't scan him. I think he's definitely been scanned. Although I
are we
could
doing
also
here?
see Jim Ryan being like, I don't trust that. I'm afraid of what you're going to do with my soul. So
Ugh.
I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of Big Jimbo Ryan, he has said in a super chat, "Hi, I don't know what to say. Good luck, Phil. Sincerely." I don't know if anything Jim Ryan's done has ever been sincere.
I mean, listen, Jim is Jim's very sincere. He is a very gracious competitor. Thank you so much for saying that, Jim.
Oh, here's what the thing about that Christmas gift was a reference to Shigeru Miyamoto's super chat here. It said, "Very sad, Big Jimbo won't be able to wear the cool Chris Pratt Christmas skin me and Bobby have been working on for a while." There you go. It was a good guess. Was going to be a surprise.
Thank you, Shigeru Miyamoto. We will always appreciate that you listen to our show every week.
Steph Tando says, "Why don't consoles allow you to gift games like Steam?" Don't they? I guess I never
some
tried.
of them definitely do, right? It's something I've never done. I've never done it, so I don't know.
I've done it on Steam, but yeah, maybe I've never done it because you can't. I do. I mean, I don't know. There's one way you can do it. You have to go to a store and buy the game.
Yeah,
but that may be disappearing soon as an option. But you just get people the card. I know it sounds exciting, but hey, here's a $70 PlayStation card. Good enough.
It's still the game, so
it's the game basically.
Yeah,
you can draw a picture of Kratos on the envelope if you want to.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I was going to start talking again, but we have more super chats.
Steven Sullivan says, "Sorry, just tuning in now. Not sure if you said, but do you see the injunction being granted or no?"
Again, as I've said since we started this episode, it is I want to hesitate about trying to make predictions because it's trying to read someone else's mind. I will say, in my opinion, the FTC did not present a very strong case. I don't think that's surprising. Anyone that was listening kind of knows that. We can kind of go based on what the CMA and the EC did, where like they thought that the Call of Duty case, Call of Duty element was not a winning position, and they dropped it completely. The EC barely even considered it. CMA eventually did drop it after considering it for a long time. So the idea that the FTC spent so much time on that, you're like, okay, they must be ready to make a compelling case, and then there was really nothing. I still think that their position that Microsoft would be better serving competitors, or would be better serving competition and gamers if it were to use its money to make its own Call of Duty. I think that is something that a lot of people would go, yeah, that does sound right. And I could imagine a world in which the judge hears that and says, okay, it wasn't the best case, but I fundamentally agree with that statement, and so I want to grant the injunction so that the FTC has a chance to prove that further without Microsoft having the ability to close the deal in the United States. I don't think that's going to happen, though, just based, in my opinion, on what we heard. So, yeah.
All right, the next one is from DR Matic, who says, "All the Game Awards Game of the Year winners since Dragon Age Inquisition, released in June and earlier, have already played the Game of the Year."
Is that true? Huh.
That's interesting, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, because we always hear about like recency bias, right? I guess not.
Yeah, I guess it's rough for like those first recency bias. I think is rough for like literally the first few months sometimes, and then the December games is what's the worst for because they don't actually get the count.
Actually, you know what it is, never mind. I got in trouble. I got in trouble last time.
Okay, yeah,
I got
that's
yelled
true.
at.
Actually,
I got yelled at.
Let's not talk about the process.
I'm not going to talk about the process. And I'll just note that the timing of the show is pretty early in December, and so maybe some of those games late in the year have a harder time. That's all.
Yep. But look, I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be Tears of the Kingdom unless Starfield like really, really, really delivers, and it can.
I agree with that 100%. It's going to be Tears of the Kingdom unless Starfield. Yep.
Okay, and then Almarical says the whole Square Enix being obtained by Microsoft would have been cool. At least I could be playing Final Fantasy 16 on my PC. Sad face. Well, it'll be coming to PC eventually.
Yeah, you're not going to have to wait. I don't think you're going to have to wait all that long either. I know they've made a big deal about, it's not going to happen in the first 6 months. I bet at like 6 months and like 2 days, you're going to have it on PC. Hush
Al Ghul says, Switch 2, will it be similar in power with deck or ally? I would expect, so you're shaking your head, yes. I expect to be a bit less powerful, but what are you thinking?
I think it's going to be a little bit less powerful, yes, but it's going to be in that zone. I think a Steam Deck is pretty likely in terms of power, especially with NVIDIA software features helping out each and every game if it's built in at like a software development kit level. And it's something that NVIDIA makes very easy for Nintendo and other developers to implement.
How would Nintendo be able to say get better battery life though than a Steam Deck does? Which I think like Steam Deck people are sort of okay with that, but
they have a little bit of a benefit there because they're using ARM processors, which are inherently more power efficient. So that's what's they use the same kind of chip that's in your phone. The Steam Deck and the ROG Ally use the same kind of chip that's in your desktop PC and your laptop. And they need active cooling because they run hotter. They are just inherently less efficient because they use an instruction set that is more complicated and less efficient and was written a long time ago. And so, there's benefits to having that support. That's, computers have been x86 for a very long time now, and there's a ton of reasons to keep supporting that. And I'm glad they do. And I'm glad that those chips are in an era where they are getting so efficient that you can put them in a handheld. But the Switch is coming from a lineage of processors that were designed to be efficient. And now they are getting more powerful while remaining super efficient. So I think that they are very likely going to be able to get 2.5 hours of battery life running Elden Ring, just as an example, at about as good as it runs on a Steam Deck. I think that is, that's my expectations. If they miss that, it depends on how much they miss that by, but I think I'll be disappointed.
All right, cool. That's interesting. All right, that's it for Super Chats for now. If you guys have any more questions or comments, we will read those Super Chats before the end of the show. It is time for our first break, though.
All right, we're on break.
Okay, let's just go into it, I guess. I'm fine.
Okay, cool.
I guess we'll wait to get stuff ready, I suppose. Maybe I will go to the bathroom after all.
Okay, sounds good.
Go to the bathroom. Yeah.
Christian, did you mark that with that sound? Do you think that sound's going to be good enough?
No, I was just thinking about Among Us.
Okay,
I made an Among Us joke in the chat.
Yeah.
Fat ass white girl.
Okay, maybe that's helpful.
Like Mike never left.
Yeah.
Well, I fucked your mom.
All right, let's get this set up. Jesus Christ. Cheese and rice.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god, your face. Were you stoned when you did that scream?
I was trying to make myself cry. Because he just kept giving me plain hot dogs, and then Bacalar was getting all this delicious food, and I was trying to make myself cry so I could look really miserable.
Okay. I would like to point out that maybe the reason this is being used is because anytime Jeff is not on camera, this is the picture I use in Giant Bomb content to represent him.
Very good.
It's pretty good.
All right.
This a hot dog. And there's a hot dog stand around the corner of my house, and it changed owners. And the new owner doesn't put like potato chips and stuff on top of the hot dog, and it made me really sad.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's like
you can't put potato chips on your own hot dog?
Like a grown-ass man?
I had to buy the thing
Okay,
separately. And
I'm so sorry.
Okay, you know what? That's a little more reasonable.
Also,
yeah,
he doesn't sell that. I had to go somewhere else. I was just like, coming for work, I'm like, I'm going to get a hot dog.
Oh, the chips are just gone.
Gross.
That's an outrage.
Yeah. Just to let everybody know, we're coming back very soon. When we do get back, we are going to play a couple of games. We're playing maybe just the one game. Just the one we don't have. Okay, so we're going to play the one game. We'll see if there's anything else we want to talk about in terms of games. I'm going to be a little bit shorter episode this week just because the smoke outside is actually really bothering me, and I want to go lay down.
I'm seeing Indiana Jones at 11.
Yeah.
Which will probably also make me more tired.
Okay, Mike, your response to Indiana Jones is going to determine whether or not I rush out to see it or not. So there's a lot of pressure on you.
Oh,
the future of the franchise is in your fucking hands. Don't fucked it up.
Don't bury Harrison Ford, all right? Let's keep him alive. Okay, I am ready to bring this show back in if you all are ready.
Ready.
Long pause.
We're back, and we are going to catch up on everybody's favorite meta game in the video game industry from a podcast. It is Game Mess Metacritic Predictions Q2 results. Me and Mike at the beginning of this quarter We guessed what we thought a bunch of games Metacritic scores would end up being. We are now at the end of the quarters, the last podcast of Q2. That's how we measure things around here.
Who won the Q1?
You did, I think, but it was closer than we expected because you were like crushing me at first, and then I had a small comeback, but I think you won. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. So yes, we are going to hop into this right now, and to help us out, Sean, you have the results here, correct?
I do indeed. I have this lovely PowerPoint put together here. Shout out to the Uncharted Wolf in the community for doing all this for us.
Thank you,
he
Wolf.
runs it for Jeff and Mike, and then also runs it in the community. So if you're a podcast producer, you might see your name in this.
Yes, you can participate as well. Executive producer Benji Bop, did he help as well?
I think that might be like a Hideo Kojima game
Sure.
thing where it's like, Benji Bob just slaps his name on everything, right?
An Ubisoft original.
Okay, I like that. I like that. But again, thank you, Uncharted Wolf, for putting this together for us. It is a lot of fun.
All right, well, to get started here, since it has been a while since the last one of these, some people may not know how it works. Let's go over the rules very quickly. The Game Mess was given a list of 12 different games coming out in the second quarter of this year with the task of predicting their Metacritic scores. The score is determined by the platform with the most reviews. Whoever is closest to the final score gets 1 point, and if you predicted the score exactly right, you get 2 points. And finally, if you didn't think a game would come out by the end of the quarter, you can simply say, will not release, and get double the points. So, with that being said, tonight we are going over the results for Q1, and then we will get set up for Q3 next week. So, let's see how everyone did. First up,
Nick Turp was giving you shit for your slide deck composition.
Incredible.
Listen, this wasn't me. Nick, if you think you can do better, I encourage you to, but I think Wolf did a fantastic job.
I agree.
Anyways, game number 1 was Minecraft Legends, in which Grubb predicted a 79 and Mike predicted an 82. It came in at 71 on Xbox. Grubb wins. Grubb gets 1 point. Shout out to community winner Mark, who predicted 73.
Oh, man. That was the closest one?
Yeah, it's a little surprising. I guess everyone thought it would do a little bit better.
I think everyone thought it would do better, yeah.
Minecraft, I guess. I don't know. Game number 2, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. You guys are very close on this one, with Grubb predicting 89 and Mike predicting 88. Jeff definitely in no way influenced by his personal biases. Well, Mike, you won because it came in at an 82 on Metacritic, so Mike gets 1 point there. In the community, Beefhammer, Alex, Inufe, Screaming Man, Dr. Sus, and Epic Open World all predicted 82. So shouts to all
you guys should be doing this. What the hell?
Nah.
Yeah.
No? All right, you're right. Fuck you, Mike.
Better. Yes, and I mean, Jeff. I mean, yes, and also. I got him.
It popped me. Yeah, that popped me good.
Game number 3 was Dead Island 2, in which Jeff predicted 74 and Mike predicted 75. Again, right there next to each other. And it was very close in that range at 73. Grubb taking the low prediction. Grubb gets 1 point there.
You know it deserves a 75, Jeff. Just give me that point.
Listen, I'm not going to give it to you, but I think you're right. 75 sounds better than 73 for that game.
In the community, Benji Bop, Alex, Vision49, VS, Dr. Sus, and Teach QC all predicted 73. A lot of people getting points here in a lot of the rounds. I'm noticing.
Doing real well.
Interesting. Game number 4 was the last case of Benedict Fox. Shouts to our friend.
And I was wondering why I haven't heard anything about this game.
I was like, what is this?
Especially Nick, I wanted to point out, is credited as cutscene skipper in the credits of this game. So,
that's right, yeah.
Grubb predicted an 82. Mike predicted an 80. It came in. I didn't see this. 58.
I didn't see this either. I
remember when we did this, I said, "What is that game?" and then just guess. So I feel fine with my.
I remember
it
being
looked really cool as well.
I thought it looked cool, and I thought I remember people talking it up, and then I remember like, oh, that's coming out soon, and then I never heard about it again. And I was going through Steam last night or the night before, and I saw it there. I'm like, oh, that's out. Oh, I wonder why no one's talking about it. Oh, because it got a 58 on Metacritic.
I guess that's why.
All right.
Well. Mike wins. Wolf points out, but did he really?
Yeah.
Mike gets 1 point there. Shout out to Jen and Mark, who got the closest with a 72. So quite a bit of a difference there. Oh, well. Anyways, game 5 was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There's a colon in there somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go, so we're just going to skip that.
After Jedi, if you believe
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
Grubb predicted an 87. Mike predicted an 88. It came in at an 85, so Grubb wins.
Game performance problems. Optimize your games, Respawn. Damn it, you're costing me.
Is that what dragged it down? Because this is the PS5 version, which ran like
it's still really framey.
It's still very framey. That's what I tried to play on, and it got frustrating.
I didn't read the
Basically
review, so I know that if that dragged it down some. Okay, fair enough. Community winners were Moonlight, Dr. Sus, and Clink, who all predicted 85.
Good job, guys.
Game number 6, Red Fail, as Wolf puts
Why
it.
did I go so high on this? Why?
You believed.
Grubb predicted 79. Mike believed at 81. It came in at a 56.
Man.
What was it last time that it was like you gave me shit for believing in it, and then we got to the game and it turned out for smoking, and you gave it a higher Metacritic prediction than I did. This is that
I don't know what the hell
again.
that was.
This is the same thing.
Oh, no. We'll get, you know what? No. Nick is right. We'll get to that one. I think.
I can't believe that, I know we're like past this now, but man, Redfall got a 56 Metacritic score.
Bring it back, baby. Let's go. Let's rehash it.
That game is it's
not great.
So boring. It is like sinfully boring.
Which, as we've argued here before, almost worse than being a bad game.
Yes.
Anyways, Grubb does get the point there. Shout out to Jeremy Biff.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
69.
Nice
prediction.
Can we just get a recap on the overall score as we continue?
Oh, don't you worry. I was just about to.
Okay, thank you.
I'm a good host. Mike Minotti is sitting at 2 points, and Jeff Grubb is sitting at 4
dumb
points.
Wow, okay.
That's why I wanted the recap so bad. All right, next game here is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Shit.
Jeff predicted 96. Mike predicted 95, and it came in at a 96. So Grubb gets 2 points for nailing it. Very, very good, sir. Very good.
Oh, God.
And then in the community, Low Rule, Snufkin, Jeremy Biff, Wazbat, and Screaming Man all predicted 96. So shouts to you for getting 2 points. Game number 8 is what we were talking about earlier. The Lord of the Rings, Gollum.
Why would I do this? Why did I do this?
Grubb
Why
predicted.
Would I do this?
First of all, I would like to point out that Grubb still predicted 69, which, first of all, nice. Second of all, wow. Mike, Tolkien Miyamoto himself, no biases, predicted a 72, going higher than Jeff. What I'm curious on is which one you predicted first. I don't know if we have that data here, right?
I'm sure Mike did. I'm sure Mike did.
I'm so pissed because Jeff, who defended this game,
oh
yes, you did. All throughout its pre-release.
I didn't get why everyone was so mad about it.
You don't understand why people think it's gonna be so bad about it. And then I say 72, like, yeah, it's not gonna be that good. And you're like, well, I think it's gonna be worse than that. Go to hell.
Yeah. Man, why did you think it was going to be so good?
I do remember one Mr. Jeffrey Grubb saying, like, oh, Gollum could be fun to, like, skitter around and, like, climb walls and stuff.
Yeah, so many gameplay possibilities.
The Uncharted Wolf in chat, who puts the game together, says Jeff was first to predict.
What the hell? How could that
Mike, why?
Remember, this is the Styx one. This is the one where it's like, you guys kept getting mad at me because I was like trying to do comparisons. I'm like, I think it's going to be around Styx, probably something around there. Clearly way worse than that, but someone.
I'm not happy. I'm not a good happy.
I was trying to be the voice of reason and being like, no, dude, this game looks like ass. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, or it sounds like ass because I don't think we had even seen anything.
Can I even win now?
We haven't even said the score, I think. By the way, everyone, this game got a 34.
Man.
Which is... Yikes. I think that might be the lowest score we've seen in a long time.
Yes, that is rough.
So, needless to say, Jeff got 1 point there.
Mhm.
In the community, Fish and Love gets 1 point by being the closest with a 50 was the lowest we
Good
went in
job,
the
Fish and
community.
Love.
So good on you for having no faith in this game.
Mike, you could still win if you get double points all the way.
I want to see this. Get it out of here.
I would like to point out
He
the
did
tweet
defend
from
it. He
Tolkoto.
doesn't
Yeah, Sean,
deserve
explain
these
what's on the
points.
screen for the audio listeners.
May 25th, 2023. So you can go back and look at this. He says, at Jeff Grubb, LOL. Remember all those times you defended Gollum?
Oh, man.
You
Okay.
wouldn't shut up defending that
I
stupid
wouldn't
game, and now he
shut
gets
up.
the point.
Like 4 times, I was like, I think it looks fine. I don't know.
Yeah, and that was a ridiculous, crazy
And
thing
I
to
thought
say
it looked
about that
around like
game.
a 69 Metacritic. You know, clearly that was crazy. It's a 34, but I didn't think it was going to be a 72, Michael.
Oh my god.
Both you are out of your goddamn minds. I think we can agree on that one. Moving right along here. Game number 9, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League,
It's
which I
supposed
believe...
to come out. What would its Metascore have been? It couldn't have been low. Would it have been lower than a Redfall? No way. Can you imagine?
No, it wouldn't have been lower than a Redfall.
Because, this would have had, like, something
This game's supposed
going
to
on
come
for it, I
out
think.
someday.
That is weird. When you say that, when you
That's
say it like that,
weird.
that is weird that this game is
This
still coming
game's
out.
going to come out in 2024.
Yeah, that's weird. It's still going to be a rock steady game. So it's like, I think at worst it was going to be like 70-ish.
Yeah, I would say that, like, maybe upper 60s, you know, like maybe
Yeah,
people are
at
cool.
worst. At
Well,
worst.
anyways, if anyone is out of the loop, this game did not come out in the quarter, and both Jeff and Mike did predict that it would get delayed. I can't remember if this came out, if we did this before or after the Jason
think the
Schreier
rep-
article. So.
The Jason Schreier
report-
article happened, and then I got my own reporting on it. I remember that,
Right.
and so we were both
Okay.
like very confident about
Yeah,
it
it
being
wasn't
delayed.
officially delayed yet.
Yes.
Okay, that explains it.
Delayed.
You guys both get 2 points, and in the community, basically everyone predicted delay. So yeah, I think we had the info. So as Wolf puts it, just assume you won in the community. Game number 10, Street Fighter 6. Jeff predicted a 92. Mike predicted a 91, and it landed
No.
at a 92.
Why did he
Jeffrey
predict
gets
a
2
92?
points again.
Woo! Let's
That's
fucking
ridiculous.
go!
How did you predict a 90? How did you get Street Fighter exact? I probably went first with a high prediction for this game, and then you were like, but Mike says it's really good. I don't know what's going on because I'm confused. But I will say a 92. Oh my
I think that's a
God.
smart play. If he doesn't know it, anything,
You guys act like I'm a fucking buffoon. I like
Don't
fighting games fine. I'm just not good at them. Like,
He's just
I,
a stu- he's
tell
a
Street
monkey
Fighter looks
just
good by looking at it.
shit
What are you
at a
talking
number
about?
board.
Like that's just like it's some science like that you need to be like read into with a doctorate degree to look at Street Fighter 6 and be like, that looks fucking cool. It
can't
looks
believe
cool.
All right. Next.
I'm not done. You sit the hell down. I'm the host of this segment. I'm defending it in part because I also predicted 92.
Oh, so I went first
But-
again in that situation. By the way, I went first.
Uh,
I just love these repeated chair shots to the head to Mikey.
God.
In the community, Super Harmon, Viez, Ezipsis, Scream Man, Shoji Koto, and Mark, a nice round of people there, all predicted 92. So shouts to all of you for getting 2 points.
Good job,
That was
everybody.
close.
Well done.
That was close.
Game number 11, Diablo 4. In this one, Jeff predicted an 89 and Mike predicted 88. And it came in, once again, you guys were close, at 87. So Mike taking the low route there. Mike does get 1 point from this one.
Whatever. Probably. I don't even think a perfect score would have helped me, but I was close to getting that.
We're pretty good at this though. Overall,
Yeah,
we're
are.
pretty good at
Really,
this.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like a really weird, like, turns out Gollum gets a 34.
Sure,
Then,
right.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
off by a lot.
You can't predict a
But-
34.
You can't
it's
predict a
yeah.
Gollum. No.
Yeah.
In the community, Bench JC, Theo, Canubal, Navi, Wazbat, and Clink all predicted A7. So shouts to all of you.
Well done, guys.
And here at the end of game 11, we have Mike Minotti saying at 5 points, Jeff Grubb saying at 11 points.
I have a chance, right?
In game number 12, yeah, Mike can totally come back from this. Final Fantasy 16, Grubb predicted an 89, and Mike predicted 88.
All right,
It came
wipe that gap
in
at least.
at an 88. But once again, you guys are both close to the actual score. Mike taking the lower route there does get it right on the head. Mike gets 2 points, putting him at 7 points to Jeff's 11. Shout outs to Beef Hammer, Chaos Buckaroo, Hail State, Razzle, Breadfish, and Shoji Kodo for all guessing 88. So once again, a lot of
done.
correct predictions there, everybody.
Yep.
Which
All right.
means that at the end of Q2, Jeff Grubb wins 7-11.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I felt good about those. That was great.
It was well done, Jeff. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was that's a fun game when you win.
Yeah, it's more fun when you win. I agree.
On the community side of things, we had a lot of people compete this time, so I am just going to quickly go through the slides so you can all see your scores.
Well done,
and
everybody.
See how well
Do
you
they only
did.
get points if they get it exactly right?
No, it's the same. It's the same as how you guys do it. So Wolf
Oh,
tallies up
okay, if they're
everyone's
closest of it,
predictions,
okay.
and then it's like, okay, who's closest?
Wait, does
You
that
get
mean
one.
that- wait,
if
so
you nail
the-
it, you get 2.
That mean Jeff beat everybody in the community also?
Yeah, but it's not fair because I only play against you.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm closest
yeah,
to
technically, it should, yeah. You guys are.
understand.
It's like separate leagues, basically.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
yeah, we're in the pro
Uh,
league. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the community results here, we have Screaming Man coming in with 8 points. So shout outs. to
Congratulations.
Screaming
Well
Man.
done, Screaming Madden.
You did it.
We have some fun facts and figures here to close out the segment. 43 community members participate in this quarter's predictions compared to last quarter's 16 participants. So 27 more. That's quite the step up. Thanks for playing, everybody.
And again, how can people play if they want to?
They can go to patreon.com/GameMess, or they can become a member on the YouTube channel. Either way, you get into the secret channels of the Discord, and I will be putting up the predictions for Q3 next week at the end of next week's show, where you guys will be doing your Q3 predictions live on the air.
Yes, that's right. So turn in for that episode if you guys want to hear our predictions for the next quarter.
Definitely. 6 brave souls predicted Suicide Squad would release in Q2, so we salute you there.
Well done.
The highest prediction for Gollum was a 78, while the highest prediction for Redfall was an 88. So people had faith in those games there. Highest prediction for Zelda, definitely the blowout game there, was a 98, and the lowest was an 87. So no one wanted to deviate too far from those 90s there. Here we have Mike being flabbergasted at his own prediction, in which he responds to Wolf, I really said an 81 for Redfall?
I was down to that game the entire time. Why did I doubt myself?
Listen, now we are going to get the list of games for next week to think about it. Let's actually think about it this time.
My big lesson is that if I think a game looks like shit, I need to actually follow my gut.
Yes,
I don't
you
need to try
commit.
and be like, well, but other people like games from Arcane, or I need to no. I always thought Redfall looked bad. I said from the very beginning, and then people were like, no, Arcane, we like. No, that game was going to be shit, and I knew it. I got to stick to my very smart, superior
It does not
brain.
seem like you knew it, Mike.
I knew it.
Well,
81.
before you throw too much shade, Jeff, speaking of thinking
Shit.
things over.
Oh, no. Okay.
Despite making this declaration of, please set a reminder for me at the start of next quarter to never fucking trust Square Enix ever again. After the whole Forspoken incident, Jeff predicted Final Fantasy 16 to score higher than Mike did, and Mike got the point because it was lower.
No one reminded me.
Oh, there you go. There's the problem.
Yeah, this is not on
I
me.
would like to point out, because I do remember this happening, he pinged me, Wolf, and Nick Turbo. None of us had to, because Mike himself pointed out to you after the show, Jeff, why did you do that and predict higher than me in a Square Enix game?
Oh, there you go.
Well, God damn it.
Yeah, suck on that.
Anywho, next week, as we mentioned, will be the reveal of the Q3 games. These guys will do them live on air. I will put up a thread in the podcast producer channels for everyone who wants to compete. And like we mentioned, hit up the Patreon if you want to play in this quarter's game.
That sounds good.
All right.
Very cool. All right, so we are we not saying the games this week? We're going to say them next week as we predict it.
It's going to be a surprise.
Cool.
You guys get to mull them over, and then afterwards, after everyone watching live sees the games, I'll put up the thread, and then everyone can.
Wait, so we don't get to predict for 2 weeks? We're going to be in Q3. Let's move along. I want to predict the games.
No,
next week.
We're doing it next week.
You get info, Mike.
No,
Next
we're
week
predicting it
doing
next week.
Next week we're doing.
But we get to predict them next week.
Yes,
also.
yes.
Okay.
We'll get you and I will get the games tonight.
As Michael Minotti himself requested we do this, we will do the predictions live
I
5
wanted,
next
and
week.
it's not, I thought you were saying you weren't. I thought, I don't know. Okay, I'm still confused, but I think I believe.
No,
It's
that's
the smoke. It's the Harrison
Yes.
Ford. Mikey's tired
the
tonight. We
smoke
just
and the
did 2
Harrison
hour-
Ford.
We just did a 2-hour-ish podcast on Tears of the Kingdom, which, by the way, will go up on Monday, everyone. So Mikey's a little fried right now.
Never mind. I'll get yelled at for being confused again. Why? I don't. The games aren't there, though. What do you mean we're gonna get the games? They're not there.
You and I, at the end of this
After the
episode, will be
show.
handed an envelope that has the games in them. And then next
it's a
week,
secret.
yes, next week we will guess live before
Yes,
everybody.
In red candle wax will be a
Hey buddy,
wolf
hey buddy,
stamped
do
into the
you need to go
back.
get some water? You okay?
No, I want a nap.
Okay, all right. You know what? Let's
Too late for a nap.
let's start wrapping this show up here pretty soon.
Gonna see Indiana Jones probably gonna fucking suck
yeah,
and make me sad. Then I'll come home and it'll be like real late, and I'll play a little Final Fantasy 3, but then that'll turn into like, well, now I'm gonna beat it. I guess I'll end up accidentally staying up till 5 a.m. and I'll be miserable tomorrow. And then my buddy wants to go to Pittsburgh for a baseball game on Saturday, and I feel bad saying no, and I want to, so I'll do that. But that's all day, so I can't play Final Fantasy 16 then. And then my life just goes downhill from there. It's all over.
All I'm hearing is Jeff might have a chance to beat Mike in Jeopardy tomorrow.
Yep, that sounds good.
Oh my god, we have Jeopardy tomorrow.
We have Jeopardy
Can't play
tomorrow.
Final Fantasy tomorrow. Gotta play. I love playing Jeopardy.
All right, let's you know what? Let's take one quick small break, and then we'll be right back. All right, everyone, good to get back into it.
Yep.
All right, Christian, you want a significant pause?
Yeah, make it funny.
Make a pause funny. What the hell are you talking about?
What the hell happened? Oh, okay, let me fix that now.
That's just the stream.
Yeah, let me fix that so I can bring you here. No, that's the wrong thing.
Well, now I cannot use
I
that
can bring it
pause.
back if that's easier.
No. We're good. All right, there we go.
Now make it sexy.
That was the pause, Christian, and you talked in it.
This delay.
I hate this show.
You just won. Shut up.
I love this show. And we're back. All right. Mike, have you been playing any video games? I know the answer is that you haven't been playing the one you wanted to play. You just
No,
gave us
I'm
your
not
very
playing Final
depressing
16.
itinerary about how you're not going to
Yeah.
be able to play Final Fantasy 16.
I would love to play Final Fantasy 16. Maybe someday before the end of the year, I'll get to start that. No, but I did play the Pikmin 4 demo, which there's a demo. That's a
Yes,
little
there is.
surprising. Demos are back, kind of, huh?
You know, this is, I don't know if Nintendo's done this before. Your progress carries over.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not Nintendo, like other. I'm trying to think. I don't think Nintendo has done that.
Yeah,
before,
Square
actually.
Enix does it all the time. I don't remember a
Enix does
Nintendo
it.
game that's done it. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm happy about that, especially since it seems like it's a pretty robust demo, huh?
It's a big demo. I was playing for like 3 hours. Like, it's the way the demo works is like, as you get to kind of like the main game, and then it's like the day that you collect 1,500 total Sparkium or whatever it is. Then at the end of that day, you're done. And I like just missed that on basically day 2, so I got to play a whole nother day. That was a really long day. So yeah, it was like 3 hours, which was seems very substantial. Just probably the most I ever played a Pikmin game already.
Yeah,
Jeff,
probably.
actually,
Yeah.
is Pikmin 4 now. So it's interesting because we're not even like, that game's coming out next month, but later next month.
Yeah,
It's not
July,
like we're-
July 21st. We're about 3 full weeks away.
Right. So, but hey, I guess it's good. Get people playing it. They're not going to have to worry about restarting. Good thing, too, because I enjoyed the demo, especially once it got going. But it's a slow start. And I remember
It's slow in that it's like it's a lot of tooltips, right?
It's a lot of tooltips, but like not just like, hey, here's a head talking to you what about to do while you still move around. Even it's like, stop, the camera's gonna move, and then they're gonna talk, and like a lot of losing direct control while they explain this mechanic and then that mechanic and introduce this character and then that character, and it's a lot right away for that first hour and a half, and it was a little tedious. But even then, there was still a lot of charm to it. I didn't realize you get to make your own character in this game. Even that was a little fun. It's not like, the most robust system
No,
ever.
it's like a diet version of the Me creator, but yeah, it's still cool.
But that's still kind of neat. So, but yeah, there is something to this Pikmin business, huh?
Yeah, apparently Pikmin 3 Deluxe demo carried over as well, says Orbital Flux. Thank you, Orbital Flux.
Interesting.
I am a fan of Pikmin. I started as a fan of Pikmin, and I really grew to really love it over time as the series got better. And it is surprising to me how little the series has changed while also significantly improving in a lot of ways. And I really think it came to its own with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. That's been my opinion for a while now. Playing a little bit of 4, I've played a little bit of the demo. I haven't finished it like you have. I've played about maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes. I played a little bit more, so actually maybe getting close to an hour now. But it's like, oh yeah, they are always solving problems of like how to make this whole thing more efficient and to feel like a more active participatory game. And bringing the dog in and making that like kind of that stuff where you ride the dog and all the Pikmin ride on the dog. And it almost feels like a platformer in some aspects. I think that's a really good idea. I think that's a good way for to empower people to get around the world quicker in a lot of circumstances. Because what happens in Pikmin games is, you're doing that initial exploration and you're kind of feeling around blindly in the world to like, okay, is this a safe path? What is around this corner? But eventually you learn those paths and you learn like what is safe and how to get around. And then it comes down to like, okay, well, we're starting this next day and I'm going to get back to the far reaches of this map because there's something I need to do over there. And to do that, all right, I guess I will, I'll have one of my captains take a bunch of Pikmin and go over that way. And while they're doing that, I'll have another captain take a few other Pikmin and we'll start exploring this other direction and we'll kind of split things up while I wait for something to happen. It's not a huge wait, but it is like you kind of put stuff off because it's like, it is going to take some time. It seems like with the dog, you're going to be able to like get to places very quickly and things are going to be much more active in the process of doing that. So I'm very much a fan of what they are doing here, and I'm ready to get back into another Pikmin. So I'm very happy with this. I'm gonna have to, beat Tears of the Kingdom first, but I got 3 weeks, so I think I'm gonna be pretty good on that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with Pikmin 4 so far.
Are these like underground, like almost dungeon kind of things? Is that new? It's like you find these things, you go down there, and time either stops or slows to a crawl, so you can kind of feel it out more. It's a bit more self-contained sort of stuff happening down there.
Yeah, they've been doing that since Pikmin 2, I think, is when they first started doing that. And that is something that they have also improved over time, where there's more to do in those things. They're more interesting. My hope and my guess here, based on what I've played so far, is that this seems to be the best implementation of that yet. But yeah, that is something that happened with Pikmin 2, where you go down into the tunnels and time stands still. And they're much more challenging, but you could kind of take your time down there, and that there's some strategy you can implement in that scenario that you can't really do when the clock is ticking on the surface. So yeah, that's pretty cool as well.
Man, I'm really tempted to play Pikmin 1 now. I'm kind of just want to see what that is like now that I played Pikmin 4. Like it's one thing to see difference game to game. I kind of like want to see what the difference is from that first Pikmin to this now.
Should we just ask Nintendo for codes for Pikmin 1+2?
Well, it turns out I just Googled it and they Googled it. I checked my email. They did send me codes for Pikmin 1+2.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I will do that.
Okay, well then, yeah, check that out and see. I'd be curious to hear how the new play controls work on the Switch. I've heard kind of nothing but pretty good things for it.
Yeah, the only thing I heard is like the UI looks kind of stretched, but otherwise,
I bet that's true. The UI in Pikmin 4, very good actually. I like it a lot. It's very snappy and it's got a lot of good feedback in terms of. It's a pretty looking
game in general. Actually,
it is. I think it looks really good. Nintendo doesn't do photorealistic a lot, and so obviously the characters aren't, but the world is, the environments try to be at least, and I think that has always been one of Pikmin's strengths, and they're really getting it here. It's it's not ever like an Unreal Engine demo or something like that, but it's photorealistic for Nintendo, and there's something to be said for that. You've been playing anything else?
Well, you've admonished me about Final Fantasy 3. But I've been enjoying that. I'll probably save more talk on that until I beat it. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is the one game that I have still been playing like almost every day.
Sure.
I've still just been having fun playing as Lily, like an only Lily, and just getting better, learning longer combo strings, trying to become a smarter player. I got the platinum and I've been a little stuck there, but it's good because it encourages me to learn more and to be better, to see if I can climb out of that rank. So yeah, I'm still actually just having a ton of fun playing Street Fighter 6. It's been a real standout. It's been a game I see myself playing for a very long time.
Very cool. I want to check out that Only Up game. I'm gonna play that on UPF tomorrow. I think that
What's
3D.
Only Up?
It's that 3D platformer that's like getting over it. I think I talked about it with you on our early bombcast.
Right.
And it's kind of going viral, and I want to get on the train. Looks like
shit, dude. If it's going viral,
well, you know me. You know me. I can't miss out. That FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Yeah, I want to mitch out.
It's full warning. It's apparently pushing NFTs even better. Let's fucking go.
What?
I have no idea what that could possibly mean.
It's like, that's like almost gone full circle from like being like I'm disgusted to. That's like a kind of pathetic. I want to see
exactly. Now. That's exactly how I feel. Like I gotta see this for myself. Only Up is my kind of jam on the surface. Like a really punishing platformer where if you make a mistake, you can lose hours and hours of progress. So yeah, and I think people like watching me be miserable. So if it makes me miserable either with failure or NFTs, I think it's going to accomplish its goal. But I have other games backed up for UPF in case it's not as fun as I'm hoping it is. So we'll see. Yeah, other than that, a lot more Tears of the Kingdom over here. I still love that game quite a bunch. But you guys had that conversation for the Game Mess Game Club. When is that going to go live? Is that going to go live tonight, Sean?
I think Monday. Sean's aiming for.
Okay, Monday. That's actually a good idea because that should bring us to July 4th, a Tuesday. Mike, are we taking that off for Last of the Nintendogs? Because it's we're probably gonna be busy with family, or do we want to record early or something? A quick one.
Definitely not recording anything on Tuesday. We'll see what we'll do. Maybe we'll figure something out.
We'll figure something out, everybody. I know we just missed an episode of everything.
Yeah, I guess I'd rather not miss an episode, but I can't record on Tuesday.
We'll come up with something, everybody. If we do something, expect a shorter episode. So we'll see. Okay, Mike. I think it's time to wrap it up. Anything else?
No.
All right, with that in mind, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter and Twitch at Toe. 90s Disney's Goofy movie episode is going to go up on the 1st here, everybody. So check that out at 90sdisney.com and all your podcast places.
I should play some more Fireworks Mania. Have fun with that. We did that on a UPF recently, I think, wherever that was. Almost caused my 4090 to crash. That's always fun.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I am twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. Twitter, I'm at Jeff Grubb. I'm like Grubb something or another on Blue Sky. Get me on the Blue Sky.
Can I beat Blue Sky more? Is Blue Sky actually like going? Is that?
I have no idea, Mike. I have no idea.
I need a code for that, please.
Yeah, we'll get you an invite. I will say Twitch is breaking just about every day. One day, like trying to type something on Twitter with a 13900K.
Twitch, you meant Twitter?
Twitter, thank you, Twitter. With 13900K and a 4090 on this PC, and I'm trying to use Twitter, and it's like it takes a minute for like the words I type to show up, and then the next day the same thing happens just with TweetDeck, and then today like the Android app was breaking. It's a fucking mess. I hate using Twitter now. So yeah, maybe we should just use Blue Sky. I don't know, but I'm probably not gonna actually commit to that. So whatever. Mike, you gonna be like doing fun stuff for July 4th? You don't have to dox yourself, but what do you got going on?
No, we usually go to my aunt's house. She has a lake. I can fish there.
Oh, fun.
There's some fireworks.
She got a whole lake? Dang.
There's a whole lake.
In America, people own lakes, Christian. How do you feel about that?
That's messed up. That's fucked up.
I'm gonna go fish in it. They're older now, that they don't, so they don't take care of the foam scum like they used to, which is a little annoying when you fish, because you get like.
You should tell her that.
A lot of that.
You should tell her that you're annoyed by her not taking care of the pond scum or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I was like, I don't care if you're 90. My fishing experience isn't what it used to be here.
I'm upset.
I got complaints.
The scum. I'm upset about losing the Metacritic game to Jeff Grubb. Do something about this.
I've got a lot of grievances. So a good thing I'm about to see Indiana Jones 5. That will do anything.
Oh, that's gonna no grievances there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Do it again.
I'll say it. You probably have to see Seaman at some point.
Enjoy your gaming.
That's where someone asked, like, what makes something hardcore porno instead of softcore, I think. Something like